Good evening and welcome to Music from the Western Reserve. I'm Zsolt Bognar. I'm the Artistic Director and General Manager, and we're so glad that you could join us tonight. So for today's concert, we have the celebrated Black Squirrel Winds Ensemble from Kent State University, and we are so excited to have them. It's a dynamic program, a great ensemble, and I've had the pleasure of hearing the music, and I think you'll like it too. Tonight's concert is sponsored by our dear friends and longtime supporters, Robert and Susan Conrad, whose generosity is an inspiration to us all. Thank you so much. And we certainly hope that although tonight's concert is free, we hope that you might consider your own support, and your donations of any amount, no matter how small, make a huge difference, and we thank you. To do so, you can just visit our website at musicwr.org and click the donate button, and that links externally to our secure PayPal portal. Well, we now get to enjoy our pre-concert chat with the musicians, and we hope that you are comfortable, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the program.
Well, welcome to the Black Squirrels Wind Ensemble. It's so great to see all of you, and thanks so much for joining us at Music from the Western Reserve.
Nice to be here.
And it's so wonderful to welcome all of you onto this Zoom. I think we've all gotten used to the format, or pretended to get used to the format during this last year, which has involved so many adaptations. And so with this little pre-concert chat, one of my favorite aspects of it is it just gives our audiences a chance to connect with the performers, that these are real people with passion for their instruments, and they have a background and a story. So I thought a good way to start might be to just have each of you give a very brief introduction to who you are, your name and instrument, and maybe a few words about how you found your way over to Northeast Ohio. Maybe Mark, we'll start with you.
Love to, sure. Well, thanks, Zsolt, for having us all with you today. I play bassoon. My instrument's here. I keep it close by to my reed table so that when I test reeds, I can compare what I do with the reed making and make sure I'm going in the right direction. It's been about 11 years that we've been together, since spring of 2012. And we all knew each other through freelancing and other venues. Even though it was a fresh start, I live in the Cleveland area, and very often I would see these wonderful colleagues either in Cleveland or nearby cities. Youngstown Symphony, I think that's when I first met Diane. And so being the bassoonist, I feel like I'm very fortunate to be with these wonderful folks.
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. And isn't that right, that our community and musical life in Northeast Ohio is really really surprisingly diverse and rich.
Yes.
Mhm.
So who's next?
I think I'll go next. This is Kent Larmy. I'm the horn player.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And it's a pleasure to be on your, we'll call it a broadcast slash stream.
That's a good
however you-
characterization.
Oh, okay, good. I'm originally from Chicago, south side of Chicago, but I grew up in central Ohio, and I came to back to Northeast Ohio after going back to Illinois after my training. Came back to Northeast Ohio about 30 years ago, and it was one of the best decisions of my life. I've loved being in this incredible musical community of Northeast Ohio. Had the good fortune of playing in a lot of wonderful orchestras, but I think one of the highlights of my life, at least, especially of the last, Mark say 11 years? Has it really been 11 years since Black Squirrel was formed? I can't believe it's been that long, but it's definitely been one of the highlights of my musical existence. And that's really saying something, because I've had really a good fortune of doing a lot of wonderful things, from playing with the Cleveland Orchestra to playing in others types of chamber music and other orchestras. And so it's been an incredible life. I really have enjoyed Northeast Ohio immensely. It's why I never left. And I really Black Squirrel is the highlight, and so I hope everyone enjoys the program that they're about to hear.
Well, Kent, we're so grateful to have you, and good to meet a fellow Illinoisan. I'm originally from Champaign-Urbana, which is a Midwestern
Oh,
university town.
I actually taught there I taught at U of I for 3 years,
Oh, no
so I'm
kidding,
very
no kidding.
familiar with Champaign-Urbana, even though I grew up on the south side of Chicago.
Okay. So who's next?
That'd be me. Thank you, Jolt. It's such a pleasure to see you, and it's so great to be with my colleagues, sort of all at the same place. Let's see, I'm originally from Israel and grew up later on in Madison, Wisconsin, and ended up in Cleveland to go to the Cleveland Institute of Music about 21 years ago. So I've been basically in town ever since then and have played my colleagues on the screens in many different ensembles. And it's such we are so lucky to live in a city that has so much history and relevance of the arts, and all of us have performed together in so many different types of ensembles and so many different groups that we've grown together in many ways through those groups. But the Black Squirrel Winds for us has been an amazing core in many ways, and we're able to connect with each other musically and to connect with each other as humans in a very intimate way. And so it definitely is a huge highlight in as part of our profession.
Well, thank you so much. And I didn't quite realize that we both came to Cleveland at pretty much exactly the same time. I've been
Yes.
in town exactly 21 years, which also just is completely mind-boggling to me how time flies. That's longer than I've lived anywhere else. But Cleveland really and Northeast Ohio have that effect on musicians. It's just an amazing sort of gathering point for all sorts of wonderful music making.
Really is. Yes.
So who do we have next?
We have me. I'm the oboe player. Hi, I'm Dana Sundet. It's great to be with you guys and with you, Schultz.
And it's so great to have you.
My early childhood, I grew up in Brazil, Africa, and Spain. Then we moved back to Brazil. And then my father moved us to the Houston area so he could continue commuting from the international airport there.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I came to the Cleveland Institute of Music for my training. And I, like the rest of you, love the Cleveland area so much. And the music, everything. I love the cycling. I'm a cyclist, and I love the national parks and the trails and the fact that we have so many orchestras in this area. You know, I was just in Pittsburgh last night, and it's just great to be able to just, go an hour and a half in one direction and work with that community of musicians and, a few minutes in this direction. So yeah, chamber music is really a passion of mine. And so the chamber setting is so versatile and so personal also, that you can laugh and have fun making music together on a really close personal level and make your own artistic decisions of how you want a phrase to go. So yeah, I love playing with the Black Squirrel Winds, and we're looking forward to when we can be together full time again.
Thank you so much, Dana. I love hearing about what a particular ensemble means to specific members of the group, and it's always different. And the collaboration, if I can only speak for myself, I think that my musical friendships and collaborations have really influenced who I am as a musician. And I think that's really one of the important parts of musical growth, if I can put it that way.
I agree.
And last but not least,
Hi, I'm Diane McCloskey Reckner. And gosh, I'll go back as far as these folks did. I grew up my early life in Ohio, northeastern Ohio, but during my high school years, um, my father's business moved us from one coast to the other, and then back to Ohio. Um, I've been here at Kent State since 1991, and yes, that's hard to believe. When I heard about the opening for flute professor, I was a graduate student in Bloomington, Indiana, at IU, and I I was just like so many musicians, so happy to have a job. And I remember driving to work every day that first week, saying, "I've got a job. I've got a
Yeah.
job."
Isn't that the
You
truth?
know, I'm serious. And at that point, it was just it was part time. And but anyway, I part of that job was playing with the woodwind quintet, and at that time, it was not called the Black Squirrel Winds. Our early quintet was Kent. Gosh, I don't even remember, Kent State Woodwind Quintet or something like that. Kent remembers. He's an old timer with me. But but we regrouped and reformed when some of these wonderful people, my colleagues here, joined the faculty, and we decided to put a little local color into our name. So that's where the Black Squirrel part comes from. And I have to tell you that earlier in my life, I thought that I didn't like playing in a woodwind quintet. Guess what? It's just because I wasn't playing with these guys. And it totally changed things for me, and they know how much they matter to me, both musically and personally. And boy, we are family. We make jokes together. We know each other's personality traits, and it's a really nice mix. It makes me really happy, and I can't wait to get back to playing with you guys, even if I have to wear a mask while doing it.
Well, we can certainly all relate to this sentiment. I mean, obviously, we're all joined here for this conversation through Zoom, which is something that is still surreal to me after a whole year of doing it. Presenting online concerts in lieu of really being able to do anything else in a lot of cases. But we're still grateful for the opportunity, and I laugh at the story that you tell about being so excited about, oh, I have a job, because all these years later, I still feel that way. Nothing has changed. We're
Yeah.
grateful to have a chance to share music. So as people trickle in for the broadcast, I'm sure everyone wants to get right into the music, but maybe we could uh, maybe not necessarily talk through all the pieces, but maybe if two or three of you could talk through a personal favorite of a piece highlight that we might be hearing in the broadcast, just something about what we might expect and maybe what to listen for. I don't know if there's someone who wants to go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I love I don't know. I love all the pieces, but the Adrian Barthe Passacaglia is always such an attention grabber. That's fun and it's very tricky, but it's fun. And then the Jean-Baptiste Lully piece, I remember traveling with my husband because Sundet is the Norwegian name, Sunda, and it means sound between two fjords. And when we were in Norway, we went to a soccer match and everybody broke out in song. And I think their national anthem, the music portion, is by Jean-Baptiste Lully, which I thought was fascinating, especially because he put the oboe in the orchestra.
That's a really wonderful story. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to hearing that. Mark, would you like to go next?
Sure. I agree with Dana, and I think the five of us love all these little pieces. Some of them are parts of a larger piece. For instance, the composer Klughardt wrote a wonderful woodwind quintet in four movements, and we chose to highlight one of the movements. Let's see. It's the Andante Grazioso. So the levels that we look for sometimes in our performances and choosing music is one aspect is always if we like it, if we think that it's well written, has beautiful lines, if it works for us as a quintet. But another aspect is how can we include the students that we meet? How can we include what we do, sometimes anyway, for even high school students? And this is one of the movements that across Ohio, woodwind quintets get together, professionals and student ensembles, and they work on this piece for solo or ensemble events. So this one's really dear to me.
And Mark, I just briefly wanted to ask about one of the pieces because I know there's a sextet that also includes piano, and this is of particular significance actually for the both of us at least because it features Elizabeth DeMio.
Yeah, well, as a group, we're all involved almost all the time when we're planning things. And when we were looking for the pieces that we might choose, Ami found this. We all remember it, but Ami located it, and maybe Ami should tell us about his part of it.
Yes, Ami.
Well, the twill that we performed with Mark's wife Liz, who is a dear friend of all of ours, is a really beautiful piece, and we've actually tried to do quite a few sextets over the years, and we've played with Liz quite a bit, and so it's been a real highlight for us to work with Liz and to explore the sextet repertoire. Another piece over here is the Liadov, the 8 Russian folk dances. That is a really beautiful, short movement, very intimate type piece that we have really loved and resurrected many times over the years. That it's a very special in the way that it's written because it really takes a mood for each particular movement and brings it to the foreground in a really beautiful way.
Well, it's so great to get just a brief touching upon some of the highlights. I know that that's painfully brief, but we don't like to overwhelm everyone with a run through of the entire program and then they sort of forget what comes in what order. But I'm really very grateful to have all of you join on our series, and I'm sure I can speak for our audiences and our community that we're really excited to have music in some shape or form during this period as a balm, as an antidote, and a really hopefully a sense of gathering. So I'm really grateful to be able to present you. Thank you so much for being here, and wishing you continued health and safety.
We thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we certainly hope that you've enjoyed the program. We thank all of our performers from Black Squirrel Winds Ensemble, and we especially thank our sponsors, Robert and Susan Conrad. I'm Jolt Bognar, the Artistic Director and General Manager of the series, inviting you to consider your support of our artists tonight by following the link at musicwr.org and following the donate link. We thank you so much for your donations of any size. They make a huge difference. We wish you a good evening, and we look forward to seeing you next time.